Welcome, everybody, to MindShifters Radio. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. Another month gone. Welcome, Carrie. Welcome, Michael. Everybody's late getting in today.
Thank you, dear heart, and welcome, everybody. Hey, young lady, how are you? Got anything exciting on your mind today, Gary?
Hi, sorry, I had to run to my phone. Well, first of all, I wanted to say from last week, I wasn't able to be on yesterday, but from last week, that difference in projection that I was talking about, and I guess once we got to the place of actuality, I was kind of wondering about the healing the projection of the actuality. And so that's kind of where I was going with it. But I think I got my question answered from Andrea. Have you read Gary Renard's Course in Miracles book on the disappearance of the universe?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
So that's where he actually talks about that. So I think
talks about that being
healing the projection of actuality to go back to the oneness.
healing the projection of actuality.
Yeah, healing the world, healing the projection of actuality.
That has nowhere to land in my brain cells.
Okay, that's all right. We don't need to go there then.
Oh, we can go there. It'd be an interesting topic.
Well, it was that what Andrea was saying about Dolores Cannon's work as well, and what she did. So we not only project meaning, but we also project the actuality. And that's kind of where I was going with that. So there's those two levels of projection. But what I really wanted to talk about today was, I've been doing this work with my father and my husband and the emotional unavailability. Well, I bought a book that came this weekend called Adult Daughters of Emotionally Unavailable Fathers.
Mm.
And I read the first chapter, and twice during the reading of that first chapter, and that's all the farther I've gotten, these sobs just kind of exploded out of me. So I think I'm onto something.
Sounds like it, yeah.
So I think I'm going to probably work with Susan on doing some more worksheets, but what I want to do is finish reading the whole book, then going back. It's not a big read. It'll probably take me a couple of days, and make some highlights of the things that's eliciting this reaction in me, so that I can start to identify what the worksheets are that I need to do. It was one of the interesting things that she was saying in there was that as a child, we had no words for that because our fathers were there. They were at the dinner table. They came to the performance of the sports event or the play or the concert or whatever, but they weren't engaged in any way with me. those fathers that she's talking about. And she was talking about 5 different ways that this happened, or this manifests, and sometimes it can go between one or the other. Well, my father was definitely just one of those aspects. So just the silent type. Not, he didn't do gaslighting. He didn't do, some of those other things. Just emotionally unavailable. And I had been listening to, in the codependency workshop, to some of the abuses that some women have suffered, like my emotional unavailability of my father was not a big deal. It was just something I needed to deal with. Well, what I now see after having those reactions is that there's really, I don't know if there's really a level of hurt, if we can level it out like that, or if it's just there. It's just the pain is there. I can't even imagine what some of these women went through. And so I was telling myself that what I was feeling was not really that big a deal. So I've stopped comparing myself, doing a comparison, and just said, okay, this is my deal. Okay. This is my issue to work on. I don't need to compare myself to others. And I can welcome this and go willingly through this journey, because I know what it feels like to come out the other side. And the other thing was that, you were saying, Andrea asked a question last week of how do I keep attracting, these people to me? And you talked about resonance. So I'm seeing that's what's happened with both my first and my second marriage. So what I'm also understanding is I need to be able to speak my voice with compassion, and to see if there's a way we can step forward through this. And what I need to do is to heal my stuff first before I have a conversation with my husband, so that I'm coming from a place of love and compassion and not a place of blame.
Being available is a requirement for healing.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I know I can't heal him. However, maybe I can heal some of the pagra.
But
Some
you
of
can be
that.
the space. My take is someone who's not emotionally available isn't emotionally available because they've lost their existence. And if I can bring forward existence in their space, then that idea from the Course, when we're healed, we're never healed alone, that we can open that space for being to show up for the person who's devoid of being. So we can extend that healing. And if, and it's pretty common in our culture that men are supposed to be tough and hard and, able to fight and win the war. Being is not a requirement there. And so bringing forward, my take would be bringing forward your own state of being in the presence of your awareness of your father, even if he's not in his body, can provide him with the energy that gives him the gift.
I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, you did a little process with me with my father.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that came through, I think you were kind of channeling him in a way, or I was, or you were, can't remember, was his apology for not really being there for me. So I know he recognizes that on some level. So that's comforting to me.
Mm. Well, holding the space that, my take is that we're designed as human beings when we come into the world as the presence of love, that we're designed to interact with other beings who are the presence of love, and that interaction delivers to us a nutrient base, delivers to us a presence that fills in everything for us. And if that's missing in someone, if that presence of being isn't there, then we're missing a nutrient, the actual presence of their love, and development gets twisted. And bringing back the actual presence of love is what brings healing. And when we bring healing, when we open to healing, then we become the space of healing as well.
Yeah, I really like that concept. That we also become the space of healing for others is kind of how I'm interpreting that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for me, that would live in the realm of realities. When you talk about healing the actuality, my take is that our realities deficient of love are in need of healing. And the actuality is what is in the creator's mind, in the creator's world. My take is there's nothing to be healed there. There's just being. So that's why I said there's nowhere for this idea of healing actuality to land in me. The actuality is what is. The realities deficient in the presence of love are where the healing occurs. And one of the keys to that is if we can breathe and bring in the energy of the actuality, that's going to bring us healing. It's like this potential of, in the time frame where in our cognizant world, 10,000 brain cells are firing, we get to see the data of a max of 9 bits of that, and that's our reality. And when we can breathe and open to what's been estimated to be the 20 trillion bit actuality, then the actuality enters us and reorganizes us, brings us into a healed state. But the actuality is already whole, complete. It is literally the actuality of what the mind of the creator holds. And just by opening to truth, opening to the actuality, healing occurs spontaneously.
I really like that spontaneously thing because it also kind of comforts me that always had this idea that, yeah, sometimes we need to go through things, but also healing can occur in an instant.
Yes. Safe and healed and whole. And if we're not in touch with that wholeness, it's the opening of the breath to bring the actuality in that restores us. Wherever the missing piece is, that actuality contains it already and delivers it to us. You know, and actuality being truth. Truth heals. Let truth in and everything gets reorganized around it. Hey, Lincoln. I just had a little guy wake up here beside me. So holding the space for breathing in the wholeness of creation and being restored by it. Life is in the breath. Correction, healing is in the breath. It's where the intelligence and where the healing power lies. And so we hold our breath, we shut that out. And my take would be, as you show up safe and healed and whole, then the conversation that opens with your husband is a conversation from being, where if he'll breathe and receive it, then he'll be safe and healed and whole.
I also have to be really aware, of responsibility communication throughout that whole process. And so I'm feeling a little intimidated, but I'm trusting that as I go through that process of healing, as I go through that book, and I don't know, for people who've just joined, I was starting to read a book on adult daughters of emotionally absent fathers, and how I had strong emotional reactions just in the first chapter. So as I go through that healing, I think I'll be guided into responsibility communication, that as I do that work, it should arise naturally, I'm thinking.
Yeah, my take is it will naturally just flow from you. As you come into alignment with being, actuality, that's where all the answers lie. And they'll spontaneously come forward. And as you are the space, then chances are that your husband, if he's not connected to that space, that you providing him that bridge opens for him to step into the next level of his state of being, where we're all designed to live. And, and coming to that conversation from a space of compassion, recognizing, oh, I have wounds because of what you did. No, I have wounds because of the wounds that are in me. And yes, you're playing out what you played out, definitely played a role in my process, but ultimately, I'm the one who has to reconnect to that space of safe and healed and whole. So the Course says free to forgive and free to save the world, showing up as the state of being. It's like most people have never seen it, experienced it. It's so absent in our world. So I hold the space that as you go through that, any energies that need to be forgiven that withhold you from your own physiology and your interaction with your husband, that caring and compassion that comes forward in your responsible conversations opens an awesome space for both of you. So breathing with you on all of that through the whole reading of that book and the whole conversation with Jim.
Thank you. And the worksheets I'll be doing probably with Susan as well. I don't know if she's on today. I don't see her.
No, she's not here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll kind of keep you updated on how that's going.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then we'll be holding a space for it, knowing what you're working on.
And I'm also doing a 7-week Kriya breathing thing, which is complementary, I think, to the still point breathing and the breath work.
Awesome.
So I'm excited to be participating in that as well, in that online thing from
Sweet.
my teacher from India. So it was the same.
Right.
It's the same teacher. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Holding the space for absolute wholeness for everybody.
Thank you.
Acknowledging your willingness and the work you do. Breathing with you. Bringing that whole intelligence to every cell of your structure, then being able to extend it to all the world. Capital W world. As opposed to the lowercase world that shows up between our ears. But nice work. Well, how's everybody else doing? It was a great conversation, Cammie, yesterday. Appreciated it. The direction your questioning went, the spaces you opened with it, I think were just awesome. Andrea, Sally, Cammie, anything to share?
Yeah, it was really good. Like I felt like I really got in touch with joy again.
Yay, I'll join you in that.
Yeah, it was really good. Like it was the best day I have had in a long time. There's construction work going on across the street. Let me see if I can shut this door.
We can't hear anything.
Okay. And in this like really great space, I tried to discuss a few things about moving forward with my husband, and shit hit the fan. And I'm like just sitting there going, what the hell? Like, I am like in this total space of love. And why are you acting like this?
Well, remember that when one is in the total space of love, they bring vitality to the space. And if one is hiding things from themselves by their lack of vitality, and they connect with vitality, all hell's going to break loose in them. That's part of the healing process. You know? new
Yeah.
level of energy and new layers come up. The key
No.
being, can I stay connected to love and recognize that, gee, I'm here to hold the space for what's going on for you, but what's going on for you is yours, it's not mine. And if I fall into the belief that it's mine, it'll be because I have still some match there. That's my next piece of work.
Yeah, so what I took from that was what are my next pieces of work? And I guess it could simply be just the vitality and shift of energy. And yet what I got in touch with was a lack of um possibly a lack of compassion and understanding, where if it was somebody other than my husband that was in that kind of upset,
Mm-hmm.
I would be able to hold it very easily
Right.
and and not take it personal whatsoever. And I did that during the process, but after the fact, when I woke up this morning, it was confusion of how that happened. And looking at, if we trigger somebody, then we have something to look at.
Right.
Um, and what I maybe didn't see in myself, and I think like what I like the only thing that I really came up with is a lack of acceptance and understanding and holding the space for meeting him where he's at. Like, because he's been listening to shows and stuff for over a year now. And I'm sitting here and I'm laughing at myself, right? Because I've been doing this work for over 20 years, over, gosh, almost 30. And I know how easy it is to slip. I know how hard it is to grasp. And instead of like just being grateful that he's even giving it a try and that he's listening and
Right.
he looks forward to and is learning,
That's
and
awesome.
yet he's like missing some of the basic concepts, but the basic concepts are the ones that are, as I'm saying this, they're the ones that are really hard to just thoroughly get. It's like they're so basic,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
until we get them, and I go in and out of understanding all the time. So basically, I guess what I'm hearing is, man, I judge him harshly.
Time to soften those judgments.
Ah,
And of course, you only judge him around the issues you have.
I only
If you
judge
have no,
him.
if you have no issue in the game, you'll just be there as a space of love. If judgment comes up, that's a product of the mind and the matching bag of garbage. So when that judgment comes up, that's the place to breathe and go inside yourself and remove what blocks you from being the space of love and compassion. And
Yeah.
it's a big task. I mean, how many people down through history have been able to, in the space of attack and upset, loss, to hold on to their human lives? I mean, that's huge. Just holding on to your
Yeah.
human life is monumental.
So it's interesting that you brought up the matching bags again, because that's exactly, I have such a difficult time holding the space when somebody is reaming me out for doing exactly what they're doing right at that moment, let alone, doing it the day before or whatever. But it's like you're standing here doing right now exactly what you were complaining about. And it's so identical. Um, I can clearly see the behaviors in both of us. Like, I know what he's saying is true about me, um, or has been in the past. Um, and it's also true about him. And it's like, gosh, can't you just look and see how you do this and work on that instead of me? And there's my advice to myself, right? Right there in a nutshell. Um, can you repeat back to me what I just said? That I said that was
Well,
my advice.
I think the most important thing was that you recognize that the advice you're giving him is the advice you need to follow.
Yeah. Okay. So why is it that you can't like look at it in yourself and get your nose out of my business? So that tells me I need to get my nose out of his business
Mm-hmm.
and just worry about being that space of love. I know,
And
simple.
maybe forgive all worry and just be that space because it doesn't come with worry.
Yeah,
It doesn't
and
come with effort.
I didn't have it yesterday. It was like I was I was just in this like place that I haven't been for many years. And
Nice.
I've been getting little tidbits of it in the last month or so. And then yesterday it just came like full force.
Gelled.
Um,
That's awesome.
it really was. And then I'm just sitting there going, how is this happening?
So, so what do you give it up
How?
for? What's the goal that you use to resonate in you? What blocks that in you? And cancel that goal. Pretty major.
It's still about being allowed to speak. It's still that uh, million and a half worksheet issue for me. Being able to
Mm.
speak and be heard, and people care enough to listen. And thank you for being one of those people, by the way.
Mm.
Um,
Delighted. Delighted.
and oh, I have a question for you. This in a worksheet that I was doing this morning. Um, I had mentioned, so I was reading Jeannie's book again last night, and she was talking about like when we cancel a goal, how we can reset that goal, right? That the purpose is to bring forth, eh, um, basically clear those 9 bits so that more information can come to the conscious mind, right?
Right. A clean and open
And,
space within your mind for love to come.
right. And so she was talking about that, and then she was saying, that we can reset that same goal. And that's the way, if that's what we want to do. Usually what my goal ends up when I was doing it that way, what my goal would end up is being that which I was wanting from somebody else. If I'm wanting kindness or compassion or them to listen or understand or whatever, that would be my goal, to be more understanding. Um, then Dr. Tim had said a while back that you want your goals to be short-term and attainable, like within 24 to 48 hours. And so I started making my goals things like doing another worksheet or tapping or doing a mind shifter, was something that I could do within 24 to 48 hours. And those never, when I do that, and I had asked you about that, and you were like, yeah, that works. And so I started doing it that way, but it just doesn't feel as complete to me as setting that goal to be more understanding, to be that thing, be that person, be that space that I want from that if the worksheet's on somebody else,
Right.
um, that I want them to be. Does that make
Well,
sense? So
the
when I was
foundation of
reading,
that idea, go ahead.
well, so when I was reading Jeannie's book, I was like, no, I did understand it clearly 20, 30 years ago. But I also understand the benefit of being able to complete that goal. And if you go with like laws of living, if I remember correctly, right, it's the canceling of the goals every day and then resetting them the next day.
Right. Yeah, the
So
foundation of that whole idea is Yeshua says, sufficient for the day are the evils thereof. And the word evil there means unripened or incomplete goals. And the reason behind that is because every time we set a goal, we create a stress. And you have people who are walking around with stresses about what they plan to do next week and the next week and the next year and 10 years from now. And those stresses are absolutely useless.
mhm.
So if I can't finish this goal in the next period, the next 24 hours, then I put that, I may still want to achieve whatever that is, but I put it into my planner. And so, and it might be something that, gee, I want to stay in this space of connected love 24/7, 365. But if I'm projecting the stress of that a year out, I'm going to be overwhelmed. But I'm going to set that goal daily, every day for a year. And
That,
that's going to keep my stress at a manageable level, because if I go overload with stress, too many goals, then I've used all the resources up in my mind, and now I'm in hot water.
yeah, okay. So yeah, it's like the AA thing or NA thing or whatever of, staying sober one day at a time.
One day at a time, exactly. That's
Just
exactly it.
so then my goals, because it feels incomplete for me to just say, I'll do this other worksheet or whatever, that doesn't feel as complete to me as that I'll be more understanding. So I can set that goal, like I can set that intention in the morning of, okay, my focus today is to my purpose today is to stay in being and maintain that state to the best of my ability and be gentle on myself if I don't. Um, and then cancel it at the end of the day. Um, doing my mm, um, daily inventory or whatever, cancel that and look at what I can learn from the things that I didn't meet my goals. I don't know if that's a part of the laws of living process or not, because it's been so long ago since I took that.
Yeah, that
Uh,
fits.
and then wake up the next day and do it again.
Mhm. Same old thing every day. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
That's important.
It's life.
Yeah. Um, so I did read that correctly, right? That it's okay to set these type of goals. It's just canceling them at the end of the day.
Anything you want to accomplish, set a goal for it. That's what puts the mind on track for the attention needed to achieve that goal. But if you're ready to go to sleep, you don't want to take the goal to do something tomorrow to bed with you, because the mind is going to keep engaging with that goal, and that will
Playing it
tend
over
to
and over.
interfere.
So that raises another question about the goal canceling at night. Like, I've always, when I have practiced this, not that I've always practiced it, but when
Yeah,
I
right.
have practiced it, that I would just be like, I cancel those goals and I would run through them. I'm wondering, I'm thinking maybe like when I look at my day and how I didn't achieve these goals that, I mean, some people would consider lofty, um, that's areas to do worksheets.
hmm Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just, that's like,
If I've got a goal and I'm heading in a direction, something comes up to interfere, I want to move that interfering energy out of the way. That's what forgiveness does.
so instead of taking notes, if I don't have time to do a worksheet, I'll take a note to remind me to do it. Like if I'm just not in a place, I'm in the middle of cooking dinner and it's about to burn or something,
Right.
that I'll just jot down a note real quick. Um, so that could like release stress from me. Like I could release some stress by not having to even do that, just doing that inventory at the end of the day and maybe doing worksheets at the end of the day, which is going to
hmm
cancel all that stuff before I go to sleep.
It makes perfect sense.
Not necessary, but that's to me sounds like that would work for me. I
Yeah,
just
it's a
got to make
mechanism that'll
sure
work.
I just got to make sure that I find the willingness to not stay up until I'm too tired to do it. Doing other things.
Put in a time frame where it's achievable.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So more codependent stuff, but it was just so helpful yesterday to now wait a minute. I still get to be me. I still get to do kind and loving things for people. That is who I am, and I don't have to stop like that's what I've been telling myself is that I've got that like enabling is doing kind and loving things for people and I've got to stop doing that. And it's like if I got to stop doing that, then why would I even want to be around people? Because it brings me
Yeah.
joy to bring blessing to people's life.
I think
So,
that's one of the deepest and most natural human attributes there is when we're truly
yeah.
functioning as human beings.
Yeah, so yeah, so it's stuff is moving
Cool.
and
Cool.
joy is entering my life again and um
Sweet.
yeah, I've really missed it. I really
Well,
have missed
glad
it.
you've reclaimed it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like
Nice
it.
to hear you in that giggle mode.
Yeah, which is, where I used to be all the time.
What we're designed
Used to
for.
be. And yeah, right? Because life is good and
It's amazing to have just when you just think about we have a human life. I mean, that's like monumental. We get
Yeah.
to be humans. Like,
I don't remember where I heard this recently in the last few months, that somebody was putting out there that when we're in spirit, we actually miss our human body. Um, and I guess spirit is, I don't know if that's the right word or not. When we leave our body, when we leave our bodies, we actually miss it. And like that's such a hard thing to wrap my mind around when I've been thinking for so long that life in a different realm would be so much better. Um, that's something that I think I need to like say a lot or remind myself a lot that this, I get to have this human life.
exactly,
I get to
exactly.
have, I get to experience what it's like to be in a human body and have these human feelings and all of these things, even even though I catch myself not appreciating them and
There's
bringing
a,
myself.
go ahead.
Um, I was just gonna say I don't even know what I was gonna say. I'll listen.
There's a poem that was written by a man named Max Ehrman back in 1927. Actually, when I was in the restaurant business decades ago, I used to print this every Mother's Day on the menu as a souvenir menu. And the poem's entitled Desiderata. Go placidly amid the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the breath. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be lesser and greater persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the fortunes of changing time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to the virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Gain kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of breath to shield you in sudden misfortune. But do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe. No less than the trees and the stars, you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it's still a beautiful world. Cheerful, strive to be happy. Powerful words to live by.
Yeah, I've read that numerous times, but not with these brain cells. I'm gonna go back and do that again after the show. Thank you.
Awesome. And I'm going to paste it in the notes for anybody who would like a copy of it. And I couldn't paste the whole thing, so let me go back and find. Give me just a second to catch up with where it caught off.
Well, while it's silent, I would like to say thank you, Jeannie, for writing that and putting it before me so that I could see that again, because it feels I've been doing it the other way for maybe about 6 to 9 months, and it just hasn't felt as complete. It's the best way I can say it. So
You're welcome.
I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. And I appreciate you as well.
And I join you both in that appreciation.
Anybody else? Come on, Andrea. Come on, Carrie. Come on, come
Else
on.
got a thought to add? Okay, copying it was a little bit complex, but I've got it. So, Miss Jean, anything for you to share, sweetie?
No, I'm good. Thanks. I will say, and I'm not sure when it'll be available, but Dr. Tim is going to interview me on Thursday on the On Your Mind podcast, but it's not going to be live on Thursday. He said it'd take probably a week or so before it was up. So when we get a copy of that, then I'll put that out on the website and on our YouTube channel. How does this background look for the interview?
Perfect.
I love it.
The
Me
you
too.
could make it a little smaller so I can't the top words cut off.
Okay.
It'd be a little, if you made it a little smaller, I'd be able to read the whole title. But yeah, it looks good. Well, anyone else a thought to share? Anything exciting to report? While holding the space for everybody to create the best year yet of your eternal life. And blessings. Bye-bye.